1978. What if I told you that a simple penny from 1978, the same kind that jingled in your pocket decades ago, could now be worth thousands of dollars? Yes, that's right. One ordinary-looking coin from your childhood, one that most people would overlook, has turned out to be one of the most talked-about modern rarities in American coin collecting history. This isn't just any penny, it's the mysterious 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, and it's capturing the attention of collectors across the country. Picture this: a man in his late 60s, cleaning out an old coffee tin in his garage, a tin that had been sitting there since the 1980s. He poured the coins out on the table, expecting nothing but loose change. But one penny caught his eye. It looked normal at first glance, but something about it felt different, smoother, cleaner, somehow more perfect. He later discovered that tiny coin, a 1978 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, was not just rare, it was special. That discovery led to a stunning revelation: he had been sitting on a small treasure for decades. This coin, minted during a time when the U.S. Mint faced subtle production transitions, had somehow slipped through without the identifying mint mark that should have been there. And that small omission made all the difference. So, what makes the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so valuable? Most 1978 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, but this particular version lacks any mint mark entirely, indicating a rare and unusual production variation. While Philadelphia coins often lacked a mint mark, this version displays a unique die pattern and metal composition that experts believe came from a limited experimental batch. Collectors have verified that only a handful of these no-mark 1978 Lincoln pennies remain in pristine condition, and those few are now commanding thousands of dollars in private sales and auctions. The combination of its age, clean design, and missing mint identifier has turned it into a high-demand collector's gem. Imagine how many people have unknowingly spent this rare penny at a gas station, slipped it into a parking meter, or handed it to a grandchild for a candy bar. Every year, stories emerge of collectors finding treasures worth more than new cars, coins that others tossed aside as just a penny. One woman from Ohio even confessed she had dozens of 1978 pennies she gave away years ago, never realizing one might have been worth a small fortune. Don't let that be your story. The truth is, these hidden treasures aren't gone, they're just waiting to be rediscovered. If you have a jar of old pennies tucked away, here's what makes the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny stand out. The front should show the familiar image of President Lincoln, but look carefully beneath the date. There should be no mint mark, not even a faint letter D or S. The surface will appear slightly smoother than most 1970s pennies, often with a crisp, well-defined rim. Flip it over, and the Monticello, the iconic building on the reverse, should have strong, clear lines, as if it were struck with extra care. This combination of features has made it one of the most sought-after modern-era pennies among serious collectors. If you think you found one, the next step is simple: have it verified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, or visit a trusted local coin dealer. These experts can confirm authenticity, assess condition, and even provide certification that can multiply your coin's value instantly. Many collectors have walked in with a handful of change and walked out with life-changing surprises. It truly happens more often than you'd think. So before you dismiss that old jar of coins sitting in your kitchen drawer or basement shelf, take one more look. That small penny, the same kind you used to hand out for bubble gum or drop into a payphone, could now hold a piece of American history, and perhaps, your next big opportunity. Because in the world of rare coins, it's the simple things that often turn out to be extraordinary. If you love stories like this, where history meets hidden fortune, make sure you subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you uncover the wealth of history hiding in plain sight. Your next treasure might just be resting in the palm of your hand. 1979. No, what if I told you that a single penny from 1979, a coin you might have held in your hand as a child, or maybe still resting quietly in a jar somewhere, could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars today? Imagine, a simple Lincoln penny, no mint mark at all, becoming one of the most talked about treasures in the world of rare coin collecting. Picture this: a man in Ohio, sorting through an old coffee can filled with pennies his father had saved for decades. Among the hundreds of dull copper coins, one stood out. Its shine was soft, its features crisp, and something about it felt different. He almost tossed it back into the pile, until he noticed something odd. No mint mark under the date. Just 1979. That small missing detail led him down a path that changed everything. When he finally had it appraised, the coin's value stunned him. It wasn't just a penny, it was history, a rare error that collectors had been searching for. You see, most 1979 Lincoln pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But the no mint mark version, especially the one with exceptional strike quality and a clean, sharp finish, is something truly special. This variant was struck with remarkable precision before the dies wore down, creating an ultra-rare version of the classic Lincoln design. Because of its scarcity, collectors across the country have been paying premium prices to add one to their collections. Some have sold for hundreds, and pristine examples with flawless surfaces have crossed into the thousands. Now here's the part that makes collectors' hearts ache: thousands of these coins have likely passed through hands unnoticed. Many were spent at grocery stores, dropped in vending machines, or left in old piggy banks. Imagine unknowingly giving away a coin that could have paid for your next vacation, or added a priceless piece of American history to your collection. That's the kind of regret no coin lover ever wants to feel. So, when you're sorting through your change or opening that old jar tucked in your kitchen, take a closer look. The date should read 1979, and right beneath it, there should be no mint mark at all. The details of Lincoln's face should be crisp, his hairline sharp, and the words, "In God We Trust," clearly defined. On the back, the Monticello building should show strong, clean lines, not worn or faded. When you see that, you may just be holding a true gem of American coinage. If you believe you found one, don't rush to spend it or clean it. Handle it carefully by the edges and get it verified by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These experts can confirm its authenticity, grade its condition, and help you understand its true market value. That old jar of coin sitting on your shelf? It might hold more than memories, it might hold a small piece of American history, waiting to be rediscovered. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes, that story can change your life. So take a moment, look closely, and never underestimate the value of what's already in your hands. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you uncover the wealth of history hiding in plain sight, one rare coin at a time. 1987. What if I told you that a simple penny from 1987, one you might have in an old change jar, tucked away and forgotten, could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars today? The 1987 Lincoln penny, featuring the Monticello engraving and the proud image of Abraham Lincoln, has quietly become one of the most talked about coins in the collector's world. It's not because of its age alone, but because of a mysterious minting anomaly that transformed an ordinary penny into a highly sought-after treasure. Back in 1987, America was buzzing with change, both economically and culturally. The Denver Mint was producing millions of Lincoln pennies, never imagining that one small mistake could one day make history. Fast forward to a few years ago, a retired collector in Colorado was sorting through his late father's coin collection when he spotted something unusual. The penny had the D mint mark for Denver, but its reverse, the side showing the Monticello building, seemed different, as if two coin designs had been blended together. After sending it for verification, the shocking truth came out: it was a rare transitional error, a coin accidentally struck using elements from the Jefferson nickel die paired with a Lincoln penny design. A 1 in a billion minting slip, and now one of the most fascinating discoveries in modern coinage. What makes this coin so extraordinary is the combination of its 1987 date, its Denver D mint mark, and the mismatched Monticello design. This shouldn't even exist, but a handful of such hybrid coins somehow escaped the mint's quality control. Collectors and grading experts have confirmed that genuine examples command staggering prices at auction due to their unique historical error and immaculate detail. While most 1987 D pennies are common, these rare Monticello design hybrids have fetched values exceeding $10,000 depending on condition and certification. Too many people have already let one slip through their fingers. One man reportedly spent his without realizing its worth. It was just a shiny penny in his eyes. Imagine how he felt later, hearing that the same type of coin sold for thousands. Don't let that be your story. The truth is, treasures like this often hide in plain sight, in coffee tins, dresser drawers, or old coin jars sitting in basements across America. Every day that passes is another chance missed for someone holding a tiny piece of history. If you happen to come across a 1987 penny, look closely. The D mint mark beneath the date should stand out clearly. Flip it over. If the reverse side doesn't show the familiar Lincoln Memorial but instead resembles the Monticello building or displays unusual blending of details, you may be holding something incredibly rare. The striking differences in the lettering, the faint outlines, and even the texture of the metal can reveal the truth about its uniqueness. If you believe you found one of these rare coins, the next step is simple: get it authenticated by professional graders like PCGS or NGC. They specialize in rare mint errors and can officially confirm your coin's identity and market value. Having that certification can instantly elevate your penny from pocket change to collector gold. That jar of pennies sitting on your kitchen counter, it might just hold your future. One small coin could change everything, not only in dollars, but in the stories it carries from America's minting past. Don't overlook the history resting in your hands. Every coin has a story, and some stories are worth a fortune. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you uncover the hidden gems of history, one coin at a time. Because sometimes, the smallest things hold the greatest value. 1978. What if I told you that a simple 1978 penny, the kind you might have once found in your dad's pocket change, could now be worth thousands of dollars? Yes, a plain-looking coin with no mint mark, sitting quietly for decades in drawers and jars across America, is suddenly one of the most sought-after treasures among collectors. It's the 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and it's taking the coin world by storm. Picture this: a retired gentleman in Ohio, sorting through his old coin jars one rainy afternoon. He wasn't expecting much, just a bit of nostalgia. But tucked between a few dull nickels and tarnished dimes, he spotted something unusual: a 1978 Lincoln penny with no mint mark at all. At first, he brushed it off, thinking it was just another old coin from his youth. But a quick search online revealed something shocking: collectors were paying hundreds, even thousands of dollars for the same penny. That one simple coin, untouched for over 40 years, turned out to be his golden ticket to a small fortune. So what makes this penny so special? The answer lies in its missing mint mark. Most 1978 pennies were struck at either the Denver or San Francisco mints, proudly showing a D or S under the date. But a rare batch from Philadelphia came out without any mint mark at all, a quiet error that went unnoticed for years. Add to that the historical significance of the Lincoln design and the limited surviving high-grade examples, and you have the perfect storm for rarity and value. In pristine condition, collectors today are paying big money for these no mint mark 1978 Lincoln pennies, especially those with sharp details and a flawless shine. Now, imagine how many people might have had one of these in their hands and never knew. Some were spent at gas stations, dropped in vending machines, or handed to kids as lunch money. The thought alone gives chills: all those tiny treasures, lost to time, because no one thought to look twice. But here's the good news: many are still out there, waiting to be found. If you ever come across a 1978 Lincoln penny, hold it close and take a good look beneath the date. If there's no mint mark at all, you might just be holding a collector's dream. Check the coin's surface: the cleaner, sharper, and glossier it looks, the higher the potential value. And remember, coins that have been carefully preserved over the years often fetch the highest rewards. If you think you found one of these rare no mint mark 1978 Lincoln pennies, get it professionally verified. Trusted grading services like PCGS or NGC can confirm its authenticity and grade, the two keys that determine true market value. Once certified, these coins often find eager buyers willing to pay premium prices, sometimes even in bidding wars among collectors. So before you toss that old change jar aside, take a closer look. That 1978 penny you've overlooked for years might just hold your future. Every coin has a story, and some stories are worth far more than their face value. Treasure the memories, check your change, and keep searching, because history isn't lost, it's hiding in plain sight. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where every coin tells a story, and your next discovery could be worth more than you ever imagined. What if I told you that a single penny, one you might have passed through your hands back in 1991, could be worth thousands of dollars today? Yes, just one small copper coin, sitting quietly in a drawer or an old jar, could hold the kind of value that turns ordinary change into extraordinary treasure. This isn't a myth or a rumor. It's the incredible story of the 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln Memorial Penny, one of the most mysterious and sought-after coins in modern American history. Picture this, it's 1991, a time before smartphones and digital wallets. People still carried loose change, and the humble penny was part of every purchase. One evening, a man sorting through his coins at the kitchen table noticed something odd, a penny from 1991 with no mint mark beneath the date. He didn't think much of it at first. But years later, when that same coin surfaced at an auction, it stunned collectors everywhere. It wasn't just a penny, it was a printing mistake, a rare minting anomaly that turned an everyday coin into a prized collectible. That man's small moment of curiosity turned into a discovery worth thousands. Now, here's why the 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is so valuable. Normally, pennies from 1991 minted in Philadelphia carry no mint mark, and that's perfectly normal. But a very limited number of these coins were struck using an unusually sharp die, resulting in a deep, bold strike and a distinct coloration. Certain examples have been found in pristine, uncirculated condition with near-perfect detail, something nearly impossible for a coin that old. These flawless examples, especially those graded high by PCGS or NGC, have fetched incredible sums at auction, with collectors eagerly paying top dollar to add them to their portfolios. Think about it, how many times have people tossed away pennies, thinking they were worthless? How many of these rare 1991 beauties slipped through fingers, spent on gum or soda, without a second thought? Some of the most valuable coins in history have been lost this way, simply because no one took a second to look closer. Don't let that be your story. In a market where collectors are constantly searching for rare and high-quality coins, these hidden gems are becoming harder to find every day. If you happen to come across a 1991 Lincoln penny, take a close look. The date should read clearly 1991, and there should be no mint mark under the year. Inspect the sharpness of Lincoln's profile, the fine lines in his hair, and the deep, clean edges around the coin's rim. If it appears unusually crisp, bright, and free from wear, that could be a valuable strike. Flip it over and study the Lincoln Memorial on the back. The details should be sharp and well-defined, with no fading or weak spots. If you believe you found one of these rare 1991 no-mint mark pennies, don't hesitate to get it professionally graded. Reputable services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, can confirm its authenticity and assign a grade that determines its market value. A verified coin can easily turn from pocket change into a collector's treasure, and the demand for these coins is growing stronger every year. So tonight, when you open that old coffee can or peek inside the jar of coins that's been sitting on your shelf for decades, take a moment to look closer. You might be holding a piece of history, a hidden fortune from America's past, quietly waiting for someone with an eye for detail and a heart for nostalgia to rediscover it. Because sometimes, the smallest treasures tell the biggest stories. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you uncover the hidden wealth of history, one coin, one story, and one discovery at a time. 1971. What if I told you that a single penny, yes, a simple 1971 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, could be worth thousands of dollars today? Imagine holding a coin in your hand that once bought bubble gum or a newspaper, now worth more than an entire month's paycheck. This isn't a fantasy. This is the incredible story of a coin that has taken collectors by storm, the 1971 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Back in 1971, millions of pennies rolled out of the Philadelphia Mint, quietly slipping into everyday pockets and piggy banks across America. Kids traded them for candy, parents dropped them into coffee jars, and most people never thought twice about them. But among those billions of coins, a small number carried something extraordinary, a subtle difference, an unmarked mystery that turned an ordinary penny into a national treasure. One man, years later, found his while sorting through his late father's coin jar. That one penny, overlooked for decades, ended up being valued at more than $10,000. It was a reminder that history doesn't just live in books, sometimes, it jingles in your pocket. So what makes the 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so valuable? First, these coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and unlike other mints, Philadelphia didn't mark its coins with a mint letter. But not all 1971 pennies are created equal. A very limited number were struck using master dies that produced razor-sharp details, deeper impressions, and perfectly centered lettering, coins so pristine that collectors today pay premium prices for them. High-grade examples, especially those graded MS-67 red or higher by professional services, have sold for thousands of dollars at major auctions. Many people once spent these special pennies without realizing what they held. They passed through soda machines, grocery counters, and Sunday church offerings, priceless coins used as pocket change. And now, as collectors race to find the few that remain, those who once ignored them can only watch as their forgotten treasures rise in value every single year. The market for rare Lincoln pennies has never been stronger, and the 1971 no-mint mark variety is now one of the most sought-after pieces in the hobby. When you hold a 1971 penny, pay close attention to its color and detail. The most valuable versions have a bright red copper luster that looks almost untouched by time. The lettering around the rim, Liberty and In God We Trust, should be crisp, bold, and perfectly struck. Abraham Lincoln's profile should appear clean and well-defined, and the reverse side, the Monticello Memorial, should display sharp architectural lines. If your penny shows these signs, you may be holding something truly special. To confirm its true value, have it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC, two of the most trusted coin authentication services in the world. They'll evaluate its condition, strike quality, and luster, and if your coin meets the top standard, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Many collectors and dealers across the country are currently buying these pennies at record prices. So before you spend that old jar of coin sitting in your kitchen, take one last look. That little copper coin from 1971, the same kind you once dropped into a soda machine or found on the sidewalk, could be worth more than you ever imagined. The past has a funny way of rewarding those who pay attention. Don't let your treasure slip away unnoticed. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you discover the hidden wealth of history, one coin at a time. 1975. What if I told you that a simple penny from 1975, one you might have held as a child, or perhaps still sitting quietly in an old jar in your kitchen, could now be worth thousands of dollars? This isn't just any penny, it's the 1975 no-mint mark Monticello Thomas Lincoln penny, a mysterious coin that has collectors across America searching through their old change with hope and excitement. Picture this, it's 1975. Gas is cheap, Elvis is still on the radio, and a young boy in Illinois drops a shiny new penny into his pocket after buying a pack of gum. Decades later, while going through his late father's coin collection, he spots that same coin, still bright, still marked with history, but missing one tiny thing that would change everything, the mint mark. What he didn't know then, and what so many people don't realize now, is that this little detail transforms an ordinary penny into a rare treasure. The 1975 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is incredibly sought after because it shouldn't exist the way it does. Most pennies that year were struck with a mint mark, showing where they were made, but a small number somehow left the mint floor without that mark. It's a striking error that only happens in rare cases of die changes or mint transitions. The result? A coin that appears plain to the average eye but shines like gold to collectors. Many experts compare its rarity to some of the most coveted Lincoln cents in history. The combination of the year, its pristine design, and that missing mark has made it one of the most talked about modern rarities in the hobby today, and here's where the story turns emotional. Countless people have spent or given away this coin without knowing its true worth. It's heartbreaking to think that a coin like this may have slipped through someone's fingers at a gas station or been tossed into a coin jar at the bank. Each time, a small piece of American history vanishes into circulation again, a lost opportunity worth potentially thousands of dollars. When you pick up an old penny from your drawer, look closely. The date should read 1975. There should be no mint mark under the date, no D, no S, just a clean, simple year. Flip the coin and admire the image of the Lincoln Memorial. It should be crisp, balanced, and full of detail. If you see that, don't just toss it aside. You may be holding one of the rarest cents of its generation. If you think you found one, don't take chances. Have it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC, the two most trusted coin authentication companies in the world. They'll confirm its authenticity and assign a value based on condition. A verified example can sell for thousands at auction, and the demand keeps rising year after year as collectors scramble to add it to their collections. So the next time you're counting pennies from a jar, remember this: that small copper coin might hold a piece of history, a whisper from the past waiting to reward your patience. Don't underestimate what's in your hands. Sometimes, the greatest treasures aren't buried in the ground, they're resting quietly in your own home. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, because together, we uncover the hidden history of America, one coin at a time. 1978. What if I told you that a simple penny from 1978, the same kind that jingled in your pocket decades ago, could now be worth thousands of dollars? Yes, that's right. One ordinary-looking coin from your childhood, one that most people would overlook, has turned out to be one of the most talked-about modern rarities in American coin collecting history. This isn't just any penny, it's the mysterious 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, and it's capturing the attention of collectors across the country. Picture this: a man in his late 60s, cleaning out an old coffee tin in his garage, a tin that had been sitting there since the 1980s. He poured the coins out on the table, expecting nothing but loose change. But one penny caught his eye. It looked normal at first glance, but something about it felt different, smoother, cleaner, somehow more perfect. He later discovered that tiny coin, a 1978 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, was not just rare, it was special. That discovery led to a stunning revelation: he had been sitting on a small treasure for decades. This coin, minted during a time when the U.S. Mint faced subtle production transitions, had somehow slipped through without the identifying mint mark that should have been there. And that small omission made all the difference. So, what makes the 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny so valuable? Most 1978 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, but this particular version lacks any mint mark entirely, indicating a rare and unusual production variation. While Philadelphia coins often lacked a mint mark, this version displays a unique die pattern and metal composition that experts believe came from a limited experimental batch. Collectors have verified that only a handful of these no-mark 1978 Lincoln pennies remain in pristine condition, and those few are now commanding thousands of dollars in private sales and auctions. The combination of its age, clean design, and missing mint identifier has turned it into a high-demand collector's gem. Imagine how many people have unknowingly spent this rare penny at a gas station, slipped it into a parking meter, or handed it to a grandchild for a candy bar. Every year, stories emerge of collectors finding treasures worth more than new cars, coins that others tossed aside as just a penny. One woman from Ohio even confessed she had dozens of 1978 pennies she gave away years ago, never realizing one might have been worth a small fortune. Don't let that be your story. The truth is, these hidden treasures aren't gone, they're just waiting to be rediscovered. If you have a jar of old pennies tucked away, here's what makes the 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny stand out. The front should show the familiar image of President Lincoln, but look carefully beneath the date. There should be no mint mark, not even a faint letter D or S. The surface will appear slightly smoother than most 1970s pennies, often with a crisp, well-defined rim. Flip it over, and the Monticello, the iconic building on the reverse, should have strong, clear lines, as if it were struck with extra care. This combination of features has made it one of the most sought-after modern-era pennies among serious collectors. If you think you've found one, the next step is simple: have it verified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, or visit a trusted local coin dealer. These experts can confirm authenticity, assess condition, and even provide certification that can multiply your coin's value instantly. Many collectors have walked in with a handful of change and walked out with life-changing surprises. It truly happens more often than you'd think. So before you dismiss that old jar of coins sitting in your kitchen drawer or basement shelf, take one more look. That small penny, the same kind you used to hand out for bubble gum or drop into a payphone, could now hold a piece of American history, and perhaps, your next big opportunity. Because in the world of rare coins, it's the simple things that often turn out to be extraordinary. If you love stories like this, where history meets hidden fortune, make sure you subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you uncover the wealth of history hiding in plain sight. Your next treasure might just be resting in the palm of your hand. 1979. What if I told you that a simple penny from 1979, one you might have handed over for a stick of gum or found in your pocket change, could today be worth thousands of dollars? Imagine that. A tiny copper coin from your youth, sitting quietly in a drawer or jar, could hold more history and hidden value than you ever dreamed. Let me tell you a story. Not long ago, an older gentleman from Indiana was cleaning out his late father's desk. Inside an old cigar box, he found dozens of worn Lincoln pennies, nothing special at first glance. But one stood out. It was dated 1979, with no mint mark beneath the date. Curious, he had it checked, and to his surprise, it was a rare no-mint mark Monticello Thomas Lincoln penny, a coin that collectors have been quietly hunting for decades. That little piece of metal, forgotten for over 40 years, turned out to be worth several $1,000s. It was like discovering a time capsule of American history, a connection between generations, and a reminder that sometimes, the past rewards those who remember it. So what makes this 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so special? Most coins from that year were struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco mints, and almost all bear a small mint mark beneath the date. But a limited batch left the presses in Philadelphia without that tiny P. These coins are remarkably rare, especially when found in near-perfect condition. What makes them even more intriguing is their historical tie to America's late 1970s economy, a time when the U.S. Mint was transitioning production and the penny still carried a proud 95% copper composition. This combination of scarcity, historical significance, and nostalgia has made collectors eager to own one. You'd be surprised how many people have unknowingly spent these coins over the years. Imagine finding one in your childhood piggy bank and using it to buy a soda, never realizing its hidden fortune. Many have done exactly that, and every time one slips through the cracks, the remaining coins become even more valuable. The truth is, these rare 1979 no-mint mark pennies are getting harder to find every year, and their demand is growing fast. If you have a 1979 Lincoln penny, hold it close and look just beneath the date on the obverse side. There should be no small letter, no D, no S, and no P. That blank space is your treasure map. The coin should show Abraham Lincoln's portrait crisp and centered, with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. If it's in exceptional condition, bright luster, minimal scratches, and sharp details, you might just be holding a collector's dream. Before you celebrate, get your coin authenticated by professionals like PCGS or NGC. These trusted grading services can confirm if your penny is the real deal, and their certification can turn your discovery into a prized collector's piece that sells for thousands. Many coin dealers across the country are also actively searching for these right now, because demand is soaring, and supply is dwindling. So before you toss that old jar of pennies aside, take one last look. You might not just be holding a coin, you could be holding a piece of America's story, a symbol of simpler times, and perhaps even a small fortune. Because history doesn't always come wrapped in gold, sometimes, it hides in copper. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you uncover the stories, and the wealth, hidden in plain sight. 1986. What if I told you that a single penny from 1986, a coin you might have passed through your hands without a second thought, could now be worth thousands of dollars. Imagine that tiny copper piece, sitting forgotten in a jar or tucked in an old drawer, suddenly becoming one of the most sought-after coins in America. This isn't just another story about spare change, this is the story of the mysterious 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that turned ordinary collectors into treasure hunters overnight. Back in 1986, America was changing fast. The penny, that familiar symbol of hard work and everyday value, still carried Abraham Lincoln's portrait on one side and the Grand Monticello design on the other. Millions of these coins were struck that year at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. But then, something happened that no one expected. A small batch of pennies left the mint missing their mint marks entirely. No P, no D, nothing at all to show where they came from. It was as if they appeared out of thin air. Decades later, a retired teacher in Ohio opened her childhood coin jar, the same one she'd filled while raising her kids, and among the worn copper tones, she spotted something unusual. A 1986 penny without a mint mark. She almost tossed it aside, but a glimmer of curiosity led her to look it up. That tiny detail turned out to be a ticket to a small fortune. So, what makes the 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so valuable? It all comes down to a rare minting mistake, a die error where the mint mark was accidentally left off the coin during production. Most coins from Philadelphia should have had a P by then, but a small number didn't. The result was an ultra-rare error coin that slipped quietly into circulation. And because so few were ever found, collectors today are willing to pay thousands for a pristine one, especially in uncirculated or proof-like condition. Too many people have unknowingly spent these coins, in vending machines, coffee shops, or while buying candy for their kids. Some even tossed them in parking lot change trays, never realizing what they had. Every time that happens, another piece of history is lost. It's heartbreaking to think that a coin that could have changed someone's life ended up rolling away in a handful of pennies. The beauty of this treasure hunt is that anyone can take part. If you have a penny dated 1986, hold it under good light and look closely at the area just below the date. If there's no mint mark, not a D or a P in sight, you could be looking at something truly extraordinary. The condition matters, yes, but even worn examples are being snapped up fast by collectors who understand just how rare this error really is. If you think you found one, don't guess, get it confirmed. Reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC can officially verify your coin's authenticity and value. Once certified, it's not just a penny anymore, it's a piece of American history with your name attached to it. So before you dismiss that old jar of change sitting in your kitchen or the coins your grandkids love to play with, take another look. That single penny could be the key to a story worth telling, a reminder that even the smallest things can hold incredible value. Hidden treasures aren't just buried deep in the earth, sometimes, they're hiding in plain sight. Subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where we help you uncover history, one coin at a time. Because your next discovery might just be the one that changes everything. 1988. What if I told you that a single penny from 1988, one you might have handled at the grocery store or found jingling in your pocket, could now be worth thousands of dollars? Yes, the humble 1988 D. Lincoln Memorial Penny, the kind that most of us never gave a second glance, is turning heads across the collecting world today. Some of these coins are now so rare and sought after that collectors are paying small fortunes just to own one pristine example. Picture this, it's 1988, and America is on the edge of a new decade. Gas is cheap, life feels simpler, and spare change still means something. A young man in Denver, working long shifts at a local diner, tosses his tips into a coffee jar every night, never thinking twice about the pennies piling up. Decades later, while sorting through those coins with his grandson, he stumbles upon something extraordinary, a 1988 D. Lincoln penny that looks different. The lettering is sharper, the design slightly off, and the D mint mark gleams with a peculiar charm. A local collector later confirms what he suspected: this wasn't an ordinary penny. It was one of the rare transitional varieties linked to the 1989 reverse design, a fascinating bridge between two minting eras. That one discovery turned his casual coin jar into a life-changing treasure. So, what makes this coin so special? The 1988 D. Lincoln penny is famous for a subtle but powerful error, a transitional reverse design. In simple terms, the reverse of the coin, the Lincoln Memorial side, was accidentally struck using the 1989 design hub, creating a coin that never should have existed. The difference is incredibly hard to spot unless you know what to look for, but collectors can't get enough of it. Because only a small number escaped the mint that year, demand has skyrocketed. Perfect examples graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC have sold for thousands, and even circulated ones command impressive prices, and here's where it gets bittersweet. Imagine all the folks who've unknowingly spent these pennies over the years, tucked away in a handful of change at a gas station, or given to a child's piggy bank that was later cashed in. Every one of those tiny copper coins could have been a ticket to an unforgettable discovery. It's a reminder that sometimes, history hides in plain sight, and many never realize it until it's too late. That if you're lucky enough to have a few 1988 D pennies sitting in your collection or change jar, now's the time to take a closer look. The key lies in the reverse side of the coin. Check the details near the FG initials under the Lincoln Memorial. If they match the design of the 1989 penny, you may just have one of the rarest transitional errors ever struck. The D mint mark below the date confirms it came from Denver, and that's where the magic begins. Before you get too excited, make sure to have it professionally verified. Services like PCGS and NGC specialize in authentication and grading, giving your coin an official certificate of value that can skyrocket its worth. A genuine 1988 D transitional penny in top condition is in high demand. Collectors are watching the market daily, ready to grab any that surface. So before you spend another penny, pause for a moment. That little coin jar in your kitchen, the one you've ignored for years, could be holding your own piece of American history, maybe even your next big discovery. Because sometimes, the past doesn't just whisper, it glimmers. If you love stories like this and want to uncover the treasures hidden in your change, make sure to subscribe to Timeless Treasures, where every coin has a story, and every story might just change your life.